Morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over gold making while leveling. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay guys, so today we are going to be going over the gold making while you're actually leveling alts. Since pre-patch it's been a lot easier for people to level in general, and quite frankly I was having this chat with Mr. Fish and Miss Bunnybell on Discord the other night while we were playing around on the US servers. Yes, I do have a US account, and yes, I am leveling some alts. And we were discussing about how fast you are able to level at the moment with different methods. So, i.e., you could actually level up in a pretty substantial way through just mining and herbalism. That is one method that you can actually do that. And I was thinking, actually, you can make a fair amount of gold just by doing this. So that being the case, that is what we're going to be going over today. And quite frankly, let's just get into it right now. Let's start off with number one, which is the leveling process. Now, the leveling process has been broken up into a few different subsections. You can level through different types of expansions as you so wish. So i.e. you could level up through WoD, you could level up through Legion, and you could level up through pretty much most expansions. And quite frankly, I was talking to Mr. Fish the other day, and pretty much he leveled an entire priest character just through herbalism. And that is absolutely insane. He was able to actually level up through that means, and he was able to make a hell of a lot of gold through that. So I kind of got my brain a ticking. What could you actually do with getting new alts and also the leveling process? So we're touching on the leveling process at this moment in time, which is how are you going to actually level if you're going to be specifically going for gold making while you're leveling alts. And for obvious reasons, we'll take that approach right there, which is your gathering professions, i.e. that will be your mining, your herbalism, and also skinning. Now, quite frankly, the predominant levels of actually doing this would probably be skinning. If you're actually going to be able to go about doing this, well, I've actually thought of a couple of ways in which you could actually do. You could also do your Wattalk or Wrath, and go ahead and farm up Saronite ore. That is one method you could go about doing for mining. That one is pretty plentiful, and you'll be able to get a hell of a lot of titanium and Saronite ore while you're actually leveling up, and then be able to do that. I only choose that one for mining because it's the most reliable for me for sales, and also with the XP that you actually gain from that is pretty damn good. The next thing of note that I would recommend for herbalism is you could always do current content stuff if you have the Pathfinder stuff. So that would be like BFA. So BFA stuff, herbalism, that would be pretty good if you have flying or Pathfinder. If not, then a subsidiary for you would obviously be like Legion, as that's now been unlocked for the Pathfinder. Everyone can fly in Legion. So that means you can pick up a load of Dreamleaf while you're doing that, and that would work out quite well. The next thing of note that I would actually recommend if you are a skinner is actually doing the Falcosaur farm in Legion. Not only do you actually kill a load of those mobs, giving you loads of XP and loads of loot, you can also use this to your advantage by skinning those mobs and getting additional materials to sell on the auction house. That is one way you could go about doing that. So not only can you get XP from killing the mobs, you can also get XP from actually skinning as well. And you also get a wide variety of materials to actually sell on the auction house. So that coupled with island expeditions, and I know a lot of people don't like island expeditions, but quite frankly, island expeditions give a lot of XP for the time that you invest. So that's a good way in order to level up as well. So you could always pair that with your material farming as well, and you could also use those seafarer doubloons to buy the pets, which you could then sell those ones on the auction house as well. So that's another way in which you can make gold with leveling. So that being the case, they are pretty much some of the best methods in order to make gold while leveling. It's your gathering professions, and obviously we've listed out a couple of ways in which you could actually go about doing that. Now, so what does that mean for if you are leveling loads of alts and you want to make gold through leveling alts? Those are your best possible ways. So let's move on to professions. So professions are something that, quite frankly, a lot of people overlook when they're actually leveling up a character, and we touched on the gathering professions for actually leveling up, but what are you actually going to do when you actually get to max level? Quite frankly, if you've got a load of alts, or you're like me and you have every single profession on a load of alts, you're going to be a bit spoiled for choice on what you want. So I've actually come up with a few that would actually be kind of helpful in order to maximize the amount of gold that you're actually getting. Number one is getting engineering for the Sky Golem daily craft. That means for the Charge Peculiar Energy Source, in order to actually craft the Sky Golem once every 30 days. That means that every time you actually do that, once a day, and you could have that on your executive assistant or anything for that matter, and you could actually build that around just doing a daily craft on all of your new alts. By the way, once you actually have that recipe, while you're actually leveling, you could actually get a hold of that if you do mop specific content and you actually level through that means, or that expansion, you could actually start doing your daily craft for the Sky Golem almost immediately. But quite frankly, that is a brilliant way in order to make some nice gold every single month, and being able to be super fast at leveling up loads of alts, this is a great way in order to make a load of additional gold just by crafting a Sky Golem, because people always want a Sky Golem because they act pretty much like how a druid does when picking herbs. So that is something you can do moving forward. The next thing of note is alchemy. Now, alchemy is by far one of the best professions going, like it always is, and to be more precise, transmutes. Your daily transmutes in order to craft stuff. Now, by far, I'm going to cut all of the actual other different types of transmutes that you can do for daily cooldowns, but we'll just pick the best one, PYRIUM bars. This one comes from the Cataclysm expansion, and also if you actually learn to transmute PYRIUM bars from Elementium bars and also your volatile earth, you'll be able to craft 3 PYRIUM bars per day. This is used to create true gold, which actually is used to make in conjunction to make the Vial of the Sands. So therefore, you could actually use that as part of your mount production once you actually start leveling up your alts as well as that. So not only do you have a way of leveling up with your skinning, your mining, your gathering professions in general, you could also pick one of those 2 professions for the daily transmutes or the daily Sky Golem craft, and then be able to make a load of gold each and every day with your new alts. Now, moving on to the last part of this actual video, and that is one-offs. Now, one-offs are literally what it says on the tin. So a one-off thing that you can do with a fresh character. Well, a couple of them sprung to my head right literally as I was about to go to sleep last night. But Mechanical Chicken quest line, that one is you have to complete 3 quests for the chicken beacons and then do a subsidiary quest to go along with that. That is in the Hinterlands, Feralus, and just run Zul'Farrak just a few times. You'll get the beacon for the other one as well. So that's 3 of those. You do all 3 of those quests and you get rewarded with a mechanical chicken. Note to self, do not click learn when you get given the mechanical chicken, however, because it will become uncageable. You have to sell it as you are given it. So just a little side note right there, because I have fallen for that trap, and yeah, it makes you very frustrated because they're like worth a lot of gold. But aside from that, Mechanical Chickens is a one-off quest line which you can actually get to sell on for additional gold. Other than that, you can always buy out a load of different types of things, such as the Fiery Cores, in order to actually get reputation with the Grim Guzzler guy. Basically, there's a guy in the Grim Guzzler, which is in BRD, and pretty much all you have to do is give in a load of Fiery Cores and all of that jazz in order to actually get reputation with the Thorium Brotherhood. Basically, what you can actually do with that is you can actually get reputation up in order to learn a load of blacksmithing recipes, or you could do a one-off quest, which is the Sulfuron ingot. You can buy this for a couple of hundred gold off of the auction house and then trade that into that vendor, which means will give you the plans for blacksmithing, which is tradable, I might hasten to add, is for the Sulfuron hammer, which is used to actually craft a legendary. Those plans can actually be sold on the auction house for quite a nice chunk of gold. However, this is a recipe that you may want to actually bear in mind moving forward, that it takes a little while in order to sell. So you can always make a nice little stockpile up with this if you're going about leveling a load of alts moving forward. Aside from all of that, that is pretty much my tips on my views on gold making when it comes towards leveling alts, how best to utilize them. You can always make up a new tillers farm for your characters while you're actually doing that, and you can also create a garrison as well set up for producing additional gold. But to be honest, I prefer doing the profession stuff when it comes to all that, because it's just quick, it's easy, and it gives you reliable in gold each and every month. Aside from all of that, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say on that matter. If you have any other suggestions or tips or daily things that I've overlooked or one-offs, then please put them down in the comment section down below, and I will be pinning them to the top so people can actually see them overall, and then they can actually be like, ah, that's something he did miss, then I can add that into my roster as well. Other than that, guys, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. If you want to support the channel and help make the channel even better, then why not check out the Patreon? Members get additional info, gold making resources, and Patreon specific content. The link is located in the description down below. Thank you and have an awesome day.